Let's talk now to a former journalist for the Times of India, Rahul Mittra, who joins us now. Good morning, Rahul. Hesitate to use the word good morning. Our condolences and sympathies, of course. What can you tell us from your perspective, Rahul, about this terrible tragedy?
See, it's absolutely shocking and distressing because, my elder brother lives in Ahmedabad. And he was the one to put this out on the family group first. And it's horrific to see the tragedy of this scale, because the flight just takes off, and within a few minutes it crashes. I'm actually in deep shock at the moment, because my heart is going out to all the passengers who were on board and their families, and also the people on the ground, because when something like this happens, we're not talking about a clear field or wherever the plane unfortunately crashes. We're talking about within the heart of the city. It's absolutely, just to imagine and think, the state of affairs is horrific. Very, very sad and stunned, actually, so as to put it.
Rahul, we know that 53 Britons were on board. I imagine they were probably members of the Gujarati community in Britain, because this is a part of Gujarat. Tell us about that community.
Walking every day won't make you lose weight. Me, lost 15 pounds and 2 pant sizes in 3 weeks.
See, my connect with Gujarat and UK, both of them is very strong, because I have relatives in both the places. And I have myself visited UK, and I visited Gujarat a couple of times. And the Gujarati community is very, very strong all over the world, but specifically UK. And my heart goes out to the families, to everybody for that matter. But this is really, really shocking, and it's so sad, and I am also very distressed and extremely stunned, as I used the word earlier, because unfortunately I lost my father in an air crash.
Oh dear!
When I was just out of my teens, he unfortunately passed in a chopper crash. So, being part of the family who's seen and who's faced the consequences of losing your loved one to something as horrendous as an air crash. So my heart goes out to everybody at this point in time.
We're seeing images, Rahul, on the TV screen of firefighters fighting the blaze, which is clearly on the ground, where the force of impact from the plane, which of course was carrying 9 hours of airline fuel, up to 35,000 gallons. We're just saying that I don't know if you can see these images on your screen, Rahul, of the firefighters fighting this huge blaze on the ground. The plane, of course, was loaded with 9 hours of airline fuel.
The heat would have been immense on the ground there.
Absolutely. So I think carrying out the rescue operations right now is of paramount importance. And I just heard and saw a report that the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is supervising it himself, all the rescue operation, and he's asked the Civil Aviation Minister to in fact rush to Ahmedabad as we're speaking, to take a stock of all the rescue operations personally. So a tragedy of this scale, oh my God, my heart really goes out to everybody on ground, also the brave firefighters and everybody who's now going to get involved and engaged in this rescue operation, where I think the time is essence. So I just hope that they're able to carry out the rescue operations in whatever can be salvaged.
We're seeing that Air India has actually set up a passenger helpline. There may be families watching this now of any of those 53 British passengers. The number, we will give it out to you, is 1-800 5691 444. That would be with the Indian international code, 1-800 5691 444. Presumably, Rahul, the lines of communication with families from Air India would be, I would imagine, pretty well handled this morning. Air India is 77 years old, actually, as an airline only this week. But a very difficult time for anybody that would be obviously concerned about if they had family members on that plane heading to London this morning. We're also seeing images because, of course, the casualties here will not just be the passengers on the plane. There will be those people who were on the ground. The plane came down about, I believe, about 15 kilometres, or just on the initial report said 15 kilometres from the perimeter fence, but it looks closer than that, Mark White, from what we can see.
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty fast, so it could certainly do a few kilometres outside the perimeter fence.
Is this tragic dimension, Rahul, that the plane appears to have hit a hostel that housed medics, either training at the nearby hospital or working at the nearby hospital. And of course, it came down at about 1:15 in the afternoon local time. And the images, which are so extraordinary, show the canteen with the wall blown out at the end of the building, but plates and cups and knives and forks and spoons still sitting on the tables because the pupils, the medics, would have been there eating lunch. It looks like perhaps the casualties in that area may not have been as big as we might have feared. But of course, it's really important to understand that the implications of this and the casualties involved are going to be enormous, are they not?
Yeah, absolutely, because since the aircraft, I mean, in terms of some of the images that we saw on X and television, it just seemed as if the aircraft just took off and just sort of, just came down and crashed. So the time of takeoff and crashing seems very, very, very quick. But I just hope and wish that the casualties on ground are not that enormous as we are fearing. But I think I'm fingers crossed that I just hope that I have not seen any fresh images at the moment, but just prayers for everybody on the ground, because there's already so much of loss of personal life that has happened. So just prayers out that there should not be more casualties on the ground. But I think it's an uphill task for the state administration, for everybody who's going to be involved now, engaged in the rescue operations, because it's a mammoth task now of securing the safety of everybody on the ground.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is very important. And like you said, setting up communication lines, because in times like these, I think communication is very, very important. Imagine all the relatives waiting at Gatwick Airport and the other airport and London Airport. I just can't imagine their plight, where, what they must be thinking. They must be, and the ones who would have dropped their loved ones to the airport, and not even reached home probably. And oh my God, and to probably hear and to listen to this kind of a news, unimaginable. I mean, this tragedy is too enormous. It's shocking.
All right, Rahul, thank you so much for joining us. That's Rahul Mittra, former journalist for the Times of India, which of course is in the thick of the story. Mark White still